I call on the Honourable Member Sua Williams-Sio. Talofa lava.
Talofa lava. Chairman, thank you very much for the opportunity. On the 6th of September 2002, the Commissioners were appointed following completion of work by the review team that was put together by the Minister of Local Government in June 2012. That review team was asked to assess the financial management and governance challenges facing the Kaipara District Council. The review team concluded that the challenges were beyond the ability of the Mayor and councillors to manage. Elected councillors then agreed that the Minister of Local Government appoint commissioners. It is the commissioners' work, sir, that has led to this bill being tabled in the House as sponsored by Mike Sabin. Tonight, sir, there is a need for this House to help the people of the Kaipara District, the people of its many small towns and villages, people who work hard day in and day out to carve out a life for themselves in Kaipara. There is a need for this House to help them, a need for this House to help its council, the commissioners, and the wider community of people who live in that area, a need to draw a line somewhere, somehow, on this deeply sad and woeful affair. And I would ask this House just to be careful with speeches, as the decisions that we're making tonight will have painful ramifications on some ratepayers in the Kaipara District. And I don't believe that politicising this affair is going to be helpful at all in any way. The Labour Party will support this bill. We have no choice but to do so in order to assist a drawing in the line for the Kaipara District to move forward and to look ahead. If we do not pass this bill, Kaipara District continues to carry about $17 million of rates, plus the level of rates which are currently being withheld as a burden on all the ratepayers there. In addition, the Council currently has $77.5 million of external debt, of which $52.5 million relates to the wastewater scheme. This debt currently due to expire in July 2014 and carries a favourable interest rate margin of 55 points. Not passing this bill puts this debt at risk with the Local Government Financial Authority. It puts at risk the services the people of Kaipara continue to receive today from its council. In addition, there are other costs which continue to add up the longer this bill is delayed, such as the loss of the New Zealand Transport Agency funding of about $450,000 per month, the increased debt renewal cost of about $50,000 per month, the working capital cost of about $30,000 per month, and a $400,000 one-off cost to amend the long-term plan if this bill is not passed. It would be irresponsible for us to delay this bill any further, as we will then impose this cost upon all Kaipara District Council ratepayers. The Labour Party has deliberated on this bill on a number of occasions before arriving at its final decision. It has been difficult because of relationships we have with ratepayers who oppose this bill and the need for us to do the right thing for everyone in the Kaipara District. We considered our position a few times as information was made available to us from government advisors, commissioners, individual ratepayers and the leaders of the Mangawhai ratepayer groups, including their legal counsel. We found ourselves upset and angry with the way the previous councillors, mayors and management failed on so many grounds to meet their legal and managerial responsibility towards the people of the Kaipara District. We sympathise immensely with the Mangawhai group of ratepayers and the way they felt about the whole process that was undertaken, their need to pursue legal avenues available to them. We met and received submission directly from some of its members, including Mr. Bruce Rogan, their chair. We also met with their legal counsel. Some of the communications we received from the Mangawhai ratepayers group were very thoughtful, deliberate and considered. Other communications I received reflected, I believe, the tremendous stress these people were under. They have every right to feel the way they do. The Labour Party sought from the government and its commissioners relief of ratepayers by way of an amnesty of the penalties for rates withheld. We are pleased that the commissioners have agreed to provide this rates relief on penalties and extend this rates relief to ratepayers in relation to the Mangawhai Community Wastewater Scheme to 1st of January 2014. A line has to be drawn on this relief to allow all Kaipara ratepayers to move forward. This relief will cost approximately about $1 million, which will be borne by all Kaipara District Council ratepayers. It would be wrong for this House, given the information we received from commissioners and government officials, to entertain a scenario where the rates are not validated and the Council required to refund about $17 million of rates affected by the irregularities to the 4,812 properties who had paid them. Under this scenario, the Council would still have been required to recover this income in the 2014-2015 year, Mr. Chair.
The Honourable Member.
In addition to the administration costs, plus the estimated interest costs over the period between refund and full payment. The net effect of this scenario on sample properties would see residential and commercial properties in Mangawhai that had paid the full capital contribution to the wastewater scheme would get a refund of, on average, about $5,065. But their 2004 rates would on average be $5,400 higher. Where the ratepayer entitled to the refund remains the ratepayer for that property, they would be $343 worse off. Where the property has changed hands, the original ratepayer would receive a windfall of $5,065, while the new ratepayer would have to pay an extra $5,408. Those ratepayers that paid a first instalment of $676 of capital contribution to the wastewater scheme in 2013-2014 would get a refund on average of $1,853, but their 2014 rates would on average be $2,151 higher, a difference of $298. We acknowledge the whistleblowers who brought attention to this woeful saga. We heard strong submissions from submitters absolutely opposed to this bill. There were strong allegations made of corruption, collusion, and conspiracy to commit fraud. I accept that was easy to make those allegations, given the way the Council behaved with backroom deals and workshops, lack of proper systems in place, lack of in-house staff expertise, substandard work by the auditors, and reliance on outside contractors and consultants, and the lack of best practice. There are so many people, sir, that we can blame for this, but we all end up having to pay, especially the people of Kaipara. Kaipara has its wastewater scheme that was needed, and it works. Through bad decisions, mismanagement, and incompetence, it has cost the people of Kaipara more than it should. I agree that someone or all these people should be taken to court. We therefore, at that time, sought a commitment from the commissioners that the right to bring proceedings be unaffected by this bill. We are pleased that the amended Section 14 extends this right to include not just the Council, but that any other person can bring proceedings against any person arising out of or in connection with any actions or omissions associated with matters validated by this Act. So, as I started at the beginning, we need this House to help the people of Kaipara draw a line on this woeful saga. I know that there are people listening in Kaipara who will not be happy with the statements that I have just said on behalf of the Labour Party. But notwithstanding that, sir, I accept that they have every right to feel the way they do. I was one, alongside my members on that committee, that we were actually waiting for the Auditor General's report to identify and provide evidence that would enable us to take somebody to task over this whole sad affair. But there are many to be blamed, and that includes also the residents of Kaipara who had the democratic ability to be able to challenge their councillors, who did put up new councillors, the CEO of the time, who the feedback I have received were not members of professional organisations, and therefore were not did not have access to best practice. The fact that they did not have in-house staff, and whilst they lauded the fact that they had reduced rates for many, many years, they were able to achieve that by the sacking of skilled staff, by the reduction of skilled staff, and therefore they did not have in-house expertise which they could rely on, and ended up being captured by consultants and contractors. Kaipara, sir, is a population of about 20,000 people living in numerous towns and villages. It's a community that has strong spirit, with numerous local clubs, volunteer organisations, Rotary Club, art festival, beautification groups, and a strong Dalmatian club. Kaipara District, sir, deserves to move forward, and it's my hope, on behalf of the Labour Party, that by passing this bill, that we're able to give them that opportunity.
I call the Honourable Member Andrew Williams.